Hey everyone, I am here with Agnes Candioti. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Nailed it. Good. And we're going to be talking about her experience in the enrollment training and specifically what results she got, because I know that for anybody who's interested in enrollment, the only reason we get a course is because we think we're going to get results. So Agnes, let's give a preview of the results that you got, and then we'll talk about how you got there. Could you just
Mhm.
share with us what you accomplished?
Yeah, so I would say my biggest win is that I'm currently negotiating a contract with a big company that would bring me more facilitation and coaching opportunities, which is something I didn't even consider before the enrollment course.
Mhm. I love that. And what about the enrollment course made you consider it?
So many pieces. I was reflecting on this. I would say the main thing is that it prepared me ontologically. It helped me see internal barriers and assumptions. And the whole momentum of the course helped me dare, like taking action. Like there's so many things I could want, but never take action on.
Mm.
And also like, I was guided with the enrollment conversation. There's a whole preparation, like script that I followed. And I really took the steps diligently, and it really helped me get ready, like internally, and ready to clarify what I wanted to say. And so several pieces actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, you just said something, you dared to do it. And I know when we were talking about this interview, you said, maybe someone else could have gotten this gig, but I did it because I dared. And I'm wondering if you can say more about that.
Yeah, so I had this company in mind, and I the offer that I had imagined, I didn't see it exist out there, but I was like, surely other people thought about it. And I inquired. I was like, "Hey, I had this idea. What do you think? Is this relevant?" And it happened to align because they envisioned growing their community and their offering. So it was a match. But I reached out, I offered, and they said yes. And maybe others saw there was an opportunity, but just didn't ask.
And that happens so often. So part of what we teach in enrollment is identifying what you want, the bold requests that you could make, and then talking about how to artfully make those requests so that you create your own opportunities oftentimes. Because like you're saying, Agnes, maybe anybody else could have reached out and said, hey, I noticed that you do this. Would you like some training and coaching? And it was given to the person who was bold enough to ask and who had the credentials, right? Like you'd been working hard to set yourself up to have the credentials to do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm curious, you've done a great job reviewing your notes before this call. So what were some of your other big ahas or takeaways from the training?
I loved the uh, going for no's piece, where you just ask for things and enjoy receiving a no. It was just so fun to play with this concept. Um, and also, so one thing that I realized, when I made this pull request and then the enrollment conversation that followed, is that I was both genuinely excited and enthusiastic, and it shows in the message that I sent,
Mm,
and unattached at the same time. And it's such
mm,
a sweet mix of both.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, back to the no piece. It's also, if I receive a no, do I take it a step forward and ask? May I ask why? Like ask for consent to discuss the why of the no. That's something that didn't even exist in my possibilities before. And
Mm,
now it's like, okay, maybe a no is just the beginning of a conversation, but not from a forcing place. Really, like, I'll stay curious. I ask if we can further discuss what's behind the no.
mm.
And that's so much more to play with.
Yes, it's so good. And in the enrollment training, part of what we teach in making bold requests is what you said, bringing your attitude, your enthusiasm, right? You referred to ontology earlier. For those of you who don't know, our ontology is our way of being. In other words, our attitude. Like, what is the attitude that we embody as we make bold requests? and then to be unattached, because people can smell it when we are attached to requests. And if we can present this proposal and be like, hey, here's what I see, here's how it could really benefit you, here's how it could benefit me, here's how it could really be a win for both of us, what do you think? And just release the attachment. It's so ironic, but oftentimes that's the thing that leads to the yes, or leads to an opening for people to have the conversation. And even if you get no from that state, like you said, you can get curious, you can ask questions, and maybe that eventually leads to a yes, or maybe it just leads to some great insight that shapes how you make requests moving forward.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm realizing as we talk about it, what's really alive, it feels so good, is that I kept the enthusiasm piece without the attachment piece. Like before, I wanted something so badly, it came like the enthusiasm, the wanting came with the attachment. And looking back, honestly, so many conversations and things that happened in my life before the enrollment course had this control piece, this
Mhm,
manipulation flavor, because I
mhm,
wanted the thing so badly. I was attached. And
mhm.
it has just become this really fun game where I can really be like have this super alive in me and hold space for to meet the person where they're at and have space to see what's really here between us. And that's just a whole other level of playing with other people and creating things together.
Yeah. Yeah. Through enrollment, sales can be fun. Through enrollment, making bold requests of whether they're personal or professional can actually be fun. And we talk about another piece in this course around self enrollment, which is what you need when you're holding back. You notice, like, ooh, I'm not really going for it and I don't know why. Like, why aren't I
Mhm.
giving this my full effort? Why aren't I fully bought in? What's going on? I'm wondering if that part of the training resonated for you, Agnes.
Yes. And every now and then it's a good reminder when
Mm,
I see my projects and I'm like, this is not moving forward. What's going on? Oh, let me check my self enrollment level. It's like, do I genuinely still want this? And if I do, why do I not take actions? So it feels like a good thing to come back to regularly
yeah.
at all the levels, like professional level, but even in like relationships. Like, am I excited about this friendship? Am I excited about what's going on in my intimate relationship right now? It's like,
Mm.
yeah, it feels like a good thing to come back to.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious if there's anything else you want to share about what you learned during the enrollment training. You've already shared so much.
Hmm. Hmm. Let me check my notes. I would say the biggest discovery for me was the place, the internal place I come from. Um, like I said before, can I genuinely meet the person where they're at? And in order to be able to do this, I need to do personal work on myself first.
Mhm.
And then choosing to serve the person, choosing to leave them better, choosing to add value, choosing to like really wanting to take them into account,
Yeah.
um, and hold space for both the me piece and their piece. Um, that's huge.
Mm, I love that. Thank you so much for being willing to share. And we teach the 7 steps to enrollment and a lot of tools in this course. And I really appreciate you applying them in your life, because that's the only way to
Mm,
get results. But it's really fun to get to do this check-in with you, a little ways down the line, and to see
yeah.
the opportunities that it's generating. So yeah, I get that you're like, it's a big win for you, but it's also a big win for me, and
Mm,
the team to get to see you win. So
mm,
thank you.
hmm. Oh, I want to share a little last piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so my very first enrollment conversation, I did it with my partner, and I wanted to enroll him for vacation. And the biggest takeaway for me was not that he said yes, was that he reflected back how he felt taken into account. Because in
Mm,
the enrollment steps, really, say why I think it's a win for him, and checking with him and wanting to hear, like, be curious about what would make this be even a sweeter deal for him. And I was really surprised because that's not something that he would spontaneously do, but he was like grateful that he felt really taken into account. And I was like,
Mm.
whoa, I really didn't expect this superpower of the enrollment conversation, like beyond the plan of taking vacations together, the quality of connection that it enables. I really
Mm.
wanted to share that because I still feel moved about this today. That was
Yeah.
my very first like doing my homework thing,
Uh,
and it was already such a huge gift.
oh, I feel so moved by that. I feel so moved by that. And I always hear coaches say, like, if you are enrolling people in programs, are you doing the work in those programs on your own? Like, are you living that work? And I do my best to live by enrollment, and sometimes I forget. And hearing that story, I'm just like, oh yeah, I got to use it with my partner, got to use it in like my next pitches. So thank you for that reminder.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Agnes, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations. And for those of you watching, we hope you'll join us in the training program.
Thank you so much for all of this. And I'm so glad that we could talk about it, like, fast forward in the future.